Alright, welcome back to the channel. So this video is about turning bib shorts, waistband bib shorts into shorts with a bib for cycling. So this originally was bib shorts, or this originally was shorts with a waistband right here. And so what I did was, right at the joint line between the zigzag threading, I cut off the waistband, so leaving still a straight stitch around the original shorts. I'll show you the close-up. So it looked like this down here. So I still had a perfect straight edge around the shorts, and then what I did was I had some old bib shorts that the chamois is already super flat, and these are not good for riding with anymore. The chamois is just pancake thin and just doesn't have any more support. So what I did was I cut the bib off just at the above the seam on the back panel, and going all the way around in a straight motion, right? Leaving about, I would say, 4, 5, 6 finger breadths of distance from the top of the chamois to the top cut, enough to create a seam and not create any awkward stress points. So that's what it looks like, the bib cut off. And then I did a double seam of the new bib short. So with pins, all I needed was pins right here, and a seam ripper, and what else did I use? I also used razor blade right here to remove a lot of the stitching without pulling too much on the material. So that's pretty much what I used. And then I did 2 seams. Let me turn it inside out to show you what it looks like. And let me show you the close-up. Okay. So the first seam is, I lined it up with the original front seam line right there, and lined it up with the new seam line right there in a straight line. But before that, I did a fold over stitch of the old bib so that I would create a perfect flat seam that didn't have any uneven edges, because the uneven edges are the part that's folded over. So I did a full round stitch around the new cut bib, and then I sized it up with the new straight line and the old straight line, and then I just cross pinned it all around and made sure that the side seams lined up perfectly with the bib short side seams, even though one is flat stitched and one is regular stitched. So I made sure all the seams lined up and did a pinning right there, and pinned it all around where the seams would line up. Use the new seam and the old seam as your guideline for the paneling. And then I started from the back piece. So the back piece right here, I lined it up with the label right here, perfectly with the seam back here. So straight down the middle. And there I left about a 4-finger width from the base of the pad to the top of the stitch. And I just kind of eyeballed it to where it would line up with the pinning, and change the pins as appropriate. Then I started from the middle and sewed along the first panel to the first edge, then cut it and started from the middle again and sewed it to the first panel here, cut it, started on the other side, and finished this panel from here to here, cut it, did the second panel from here to here, cut it, and then I flipped it around to the front and started from the front middle stitch and went straight down to connect it to the first panel, cut it, and continued right here with the first panel and went to the first panel and cut it, and then it was done. The reason I did it that way was so that it wouldn't have any uneven waving of the material, because it is elastane spandex. So if you just sew straight from the back and go all the way around, typically you'll end up with too much bunching of the material towards the end when you're trying to close it all together. So that's why it's good to sew this type of bib short material in sections, towards the middle, towards the hip, towards the middle, towards the hip, finish the hip, and then switch around to the front and sew from the midline of the front towards the hip, midline of the front towards the hip, and you'll uniformly close up all the material without creating too much waves in the paneling. And there's the finished product. Let me show you what it looks like. So I just wanted to have these bib shorts, these shorts and bib shorts, because it's my favorite design, the Tinkoff Saxo Bank. I have the matching jersey top, but I didn't like wearing the waistband shorts with the jersey top because it wasn't comfortable for long rides, because bib shorts are more comfortable for me, but it depends on your preference. The only part I say I could have critiqued better would be the back panel. If I had lined up the back panel perfectly where the black and camouflage meet, it would not have this, where I have the stitching across the Tinkoff lettering. The stitching would have went along here, which I could have done, right? But that doesn't really matter. When the jersey is full of tools and spares, usually the jersey tail will cover that a bit, unless you have a extra small jersey that shows it. But that's just a little critique that you could do differently if you choose to do so. And then the paneling goes straight across the camouflage piece there, and then the front is black, so the black stitching with the black paneling in the front totally doesn't show as anything. And then again across the camouflage it shows some of the stitching that I did there. And like I said, I did a double stitch, so when it came to the top panel, I sewed the top panel as close to the original top panel as possible, right there, pretty close, so that you would not see too much of the old light blue paneling from the original light blue shorts, which when you're wearing your jersey that won't show anyway, which would have been this piece right here on these shorts right there. Yep, because this is light blue. So with that being said, that is how you change a bib short or a regular waistband short to bib shorts, especially if you have a lot of bibs and maybe some triathlon shorts that you don't want to use the waistband anymore. And that took about, I'd say, maybe 45 minutes to do. Pretty fun if you enjoy sewing. This is just a regular Kenmore mini sewing machine, nothing fancy. And I used the zigzag number 6 stitch for the whole thing. This is what I found is best for stretchy fabric such as bib shorts. If you have any questions, please post it down below. That's about it. Thanks for watching. Bye. Don't forget to like and subscribe.